Did you know that while you struggle to complete even simple projects in your life, Solomon built the most magnificent structure in ancient history, all because he understood a spiritual principle that most believers today completely miss? The construction of Solomon's temple reveals a shocking truth about how God works through chosen vessels to accomplish the impossible. And it's time you understood what's been holding back your greatest achievements. When Solomon began building the temple in the 4th year of his reign, he wasn't just constructing a building. He was fulfilling a prophetic promise God had made to his father David years earlier in 2 Samuel 7:12-13. "I will set up your seed after you. He shall build a house for my name." This reveals a powerful pattern in your own life. Sometimes the greatest thing God calls you to build isn't even your original vision, but something He planted in someone else that you're destined to complete. The scale of Solomon's temple project was utterly staggering. He employed 30,000 Israelites in shifts, 70,000 transporters, 80,000 stonecutters in the mountains, and 3,600 supervisors, 1 Kings 5:13-16, demonstrating that kingdom-sized assignments require you to mobilize others rather than trying to accomplish everything alone. Are you still trying to build God's vision with only your own 2 hands when He's calling you to lead an army? The temple's construction revealed Solomon's extraordinary attention to detail, from overlaying the inner sanctuary with pure gold to carving elaborate cherubim, palm trees, and flowers throughout. 1 Kings 6:14-36. Because Solomon understood what many believers tragically miss: excellence in the details honors God's presence. When was the last time you gave your absolute best to what God assigned you? Or are you offering Him mediocre efforts while wondering why His glory doesn't fill your life? Perhaps most revealing was the supernatural phenomenon recorded in 1 Kings 6:7. "And the temple, when it was being built, was built with stone, finished at the quarry, so that no hammer or chisel or any iron tool was heard in the temple while it was being built." This supernatural synchronicity shows what happens when human excellence aligns with divine purpose. God creates a supernatural flow that makes impossible feats seem effortless. The completion of the temple after 7 years led to one of the most dramatic spiritual manifestations in history when Solomon brought the Ark of the Covenant into the Holy of Holies. The cloud filled the house of the Lord so that the priests could not continue ministering because of the cloud, for the glory of the Lord filled the house of the Lord. 1 Kings 8:10-11. This reveals a profound yet often missed truth. The glory doesn't come when you begin building, but when you finish what God assigned you. How many God-given assignments have you abandoned halfway, wondering why His manifested presence seems distant? Solomon's prayer of dedication exposed his deepest theological understanding when he declared, "But will God indeed dwell on the earth? Behold, heaven and the heaven of heavens cannot contain you. How much less this temple which I have built?" 1 Kings 8:27. Even amid his greatest accomplishment, Solomon maintained the humility to recognize that no human achievement could fully contain God's presence, a stark warning to those who become prideful over their spiritual accomplishments. Following the temple dedication, God appeared to Solomon a second time with both confirmation and warning. "I have heard your prayer. I have consecrated this house. My eyes and my heart will be there perpetually." 1 Kings 9:3. Then came the devastating warning that many successful believers ignore until it's too late. "But if you or your sons turn away from following me, then I will cut off Israel from the land which I have given them, and this house which I have consecrated for my name I will cast out of my sight." 1 Kings 9:6-7. The lesson is unmistakable. God's greatest blessing on your life can become a painful reminder of what you lost if you turn from wholehearted obedience. As Solomon's fame grew, so did his magnificent building projects beyond the temple. His own palace took 13 years to complete, nearly twice as long as God's house, revealing a subtle shift in his priorities that would eventually undermine his spiritual legacy. He constructed the House of the Forest of Lebanon, the Hall of Pillars, and the Hall of Judgment, 1 Kings 7:1-8, demonstrating exceptional administrative and creative abilities that still astonish modern architects. Yet these achievements masked a growing spiritual problem. Solomon was building more for his glory than for God's. The Queen of Sheba's visit marked the pinnacle of Solomon's international influence, as she traveled from afar, having heard about the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, 1 Kings 10:1. Her testimony is revealing. It was a true report, which I heard in my own land. However, I did not believe the words until I came and saw with my own eyes, and indeed the half was not told me. Your wisdom and prosperity exceed the fame of which I heard. 1 Kings 10:6-7.